Hello and welcome to a quick tutorial on some advanced CSS foundation skills. Now, these aren't truly foundation skills and they're not truly advanced CSS. They're kind of a hodgepodge of a lot of different things. So, in order to set this up, the first thing I want to do is I want to embed a Google image here on this particular page, but I cannot do it from an upload and I can't do it from my images and I can't do it from Drive. And there's lots of reasons why. You can certainly spend some time trying if you want to, but ultimately at the end of the day, if you do it from any of these options, you end up getting that image in there, but it becomes just a single embedded image. You can't manipulate it with CSS or anything like that. I have a couple of article links posted as to other people who've figured out a workaround on this. So if you want to go take a look at those, but to move on with our skill set here, I have set up this page called Advanced CSS dash Foundations. I'm going to insert a quick text box so that when this image appears, I'll know what I'm talking about here, or I'll labeled it. I'm going to call that embedded Google image. And again, we're not inserting it from an image or an upload or a Google Drive thing. We are actually doing an embed here. So the next thing I'm going to do is go out and get the image. What I've done here is I've gone to Google and I have searched for public domain images, background images. Creative Commons also has a wide variety of images that are freely available with an attribution license. And the truth of the matter is here that probably I'm predicting that at the end of this particular block of lessons, I would be happier with a paler image. For example, this one or this one or this one. But I'm going to, and again, that would be from a design perspective. I suspect going paler might be a better thing to do. But I'm going to take a little bit of a risk here. And I've got a high contrast, very subject specific image. So I'm going to grab that image by right clicking on it. I'm going to go down to Save Image As, and it's going to land in my download folder, and I can give it a different name if I want to. And of course, I'm doing this on a Mac, but doesn't really matter because everything that I'm doing works pretty much exactly the same on a Windows side. You've got a download folder, and this is where you can expect that your normal downloads will go. You can on occasion expect that maybe they'll go to the desktop. Depends on a lot on what you used last. You can go ahead and click on Save, and that saves that image. The next thing I need to do is come over here to my Google Drive. So I got there by going to drive.google.com. I'm making sure that I'm in my MSCT account, and I want to upload that image to my Google Drive. And here's the image itself. And I'm going to just click and drag it into my Google Drive. Alternately, I could have right-clicked and done an upload files. There's multiple ways to get that there. But here's the image itself. Now, I could do a sharing in a couple of different ways. I could open the image and actually share it that way. But I can also click on it one time and come over here and get the shareable link. Now, I do want to go into sharing settings and make sure that I've paid attention to some pieces under the advanced. Namely, I want to make sure that anyone who has the link can view it. And here is the link up here. Once again, if I click on here, I can come in here. I want that sharing link on. I want to grab the entire image URL, and I'm going to do a Command C on a Mac or a Control C on a PC. Now that puts that image's Google link into my memory. And now I'm going to go over to this website called gdurl.com. This is Google Drive URL, or at least that's what I think it is. It's setting up direct permalinks for Google Drive. Now there are lots of different ways to do this. And the thing you want to pay attention to here is that this particular site has a lot of distractors, these little other click here's and start nows. None of them are the things you want to do, and please don't. That just leads to trouble. So I'm going to click in this box here, and I'm going to paste. I've done a Control V or a Command V. And now I'm going to come down to this option where it says Create Permalink. Again, don't get confused by all of the other links here. Click on Create Permalink. And I apologize. Let's do some on-the-fly troubleshooting right here. I'm going to copy that link and make sure that I've got the right link. The reason I'm doing this is notice up here it says URL submitted doesn't look like a valid URL. So I don't think that was quite right. So I'm going to paste that again. And it looks pretty much the same. So I'm going to click on Create Permalink. But this time it came back correctly. So now it comes back to this standard URL. And it tells me that this is a direct link to view or open the file. And just for your information, although we won't use it, note that there is a download URL here, which means that if in fact I wanted my end user to be able to click on it and download the file separately, this would be the hyperlink I would use. But for my purposes, I'm using it as a background, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a Control C or Command C. Now notice here again, this is where I'm going to run into trouble. This is a huge image and it's got a lot of content, but it right off the top of the bat, it almost looks like the image isn't there because it's so large. But I'm going to continue going for it. The next thing I want to do is I actually basically need, in order to set this up and put this as an embed code here, I need a little bit of code or HTML code that goes along with that. I can't just simply embed it because it wouldn't work. So I'm going to come over here to our w3schools.com, and I've provided a link to this website directly in our instructional page, but I'm going to come over here to HTML images. And, you know, this is a great tool to learn how to insert the images, but I'm going to go ahead and go to try it yourself, simply because this gives me all the code that I need, right? The first thing I want to do is I want to recognize that I've got an H2 up here. You already know all about that. Here is the bit of code that I need. Although I do need to still have it in my document type, it still does need to be an HTML document encased in some body areas, etc. But this between the two parentheses marks is where I want to paste my Google URL. I also want to change the alt text piece here. And for my purposes, I'm going to call this Tower at Night. I'm going to go ahead and click on Run, and there's my image. So this is the particular code that now I can highlight. I can copy this. I can come over to my Google site, go to Embed, go to my embed code, paste it, and click on Next. The other thing you want to know, of course, here is that if I decide to change that URL, if I want to go get another image, all I have to really do is open this up. And now that my framework is there, just replace that URL. I'm going to go ahead and click on Next, click on Insert, and there it is. So this has been fairly straightforward. Note again, in terms of this particular HTML image, that's coming in because that was on our editor page over here. If I didn't want that, I could have taken it out here, or alternately, I know enough now where I can click on my pencil and I can come over here and take it out here and click on Next and then save that, and that takes that chunk away. I'm going to go ahead and click on Publish simply because that's a good habit. I'm going to stop this particular video now. And you're going to come back here in a moment and continue working on some other skills. See you in a bit.